We all know dogs are loyal, but here's the shocking truth. Loyalty is just the surface. Imprinting is something far deeper, an invisible bond where your dog places their entire survival, their very heartbeat in your hands. Not every dog will do it, and not every owner is chosen. That's why today we're revealing 7 powerful signs your dog has truly imprinted on you. And the first one often begins in the quietest moment of all, when night falls, and your dog chooses to sleep pressed right beside you. Sign 1. Sleeping with you. When your dog curls up beside you at night, it's not just because the mattress feels softer than the floor, or because you keep the warmest blankets in the house. In the animal kingdom, sleep is the moment of ultimate vulnerability. Wolves and wild dogs only close their eyes when surrounded by those they trust most, those who would protect them if danger strikes. By pressing their body against yours, your dog is making a powerful declaration: "You are my pack, my guardian, the one who keeps me alive while I dream." Science backs this up. Studies on the human-canine bond have shown that gentle nighttime contact, just being close enough to feel your warmth, can trigger oxytocin, the hormone often called the love chemical in both human and dog. That same hormone strengthens the parent-child connection, and now it's quietly linking the two of you under the covers. And let's be honest, your dog doesn't only feel safe with you, it also makes you feel safe. For many older adults who live alone, that steady breathing beside them is more comforting than words. It's a living heartbeat, a reminder that you are not alone in the dark. But nighttime is only the beginning, because imprinting doesn't stop when the morning sun rises. In fact, the next sign shows up the moment you try to move around your own house and suddenly realize you're never walking alone. Sign 2. Following you everywhere. If you've ever stood up from your chair only to notice 4 paws instantly trailing behind you, you know this sign well. At first it might seem funny, or even a little clingy, your dog shadowing you from room to room, even following you into the bathroom. But here's the truth, that behavior isn't just attachment, it's survival instinct reshaped by love. In the wild, separation from the pack meant danger. By staying glued to you, your dog is declaring that you are the safe zone. Researchers call this the safe haven effect. Just as children instinctively run to a parent when something feels off, dogs rely on their chosen human for reassurance and protection. For seniors who live alone, or for veterans dealing with PTSD, this constant companionship can feel like a lifeline. Every step you take, your dog is silently saying, "I can breathe as long as you're near." And there's a deeper layer here. Some dogs even learn to anticipate their owner's movements, adjusting their pace and energy to match yours. It's as though your rhythm becomes their rhythm. That's not just loyalty, it's imprinting at the core, a subconscious choice to mirror the one being they trust most. But imprinting doesn't only show up in footsteps. Sometimes it lingers in the air you leave behind, woven into fabric, waiting for you to return. And that leads us to the next sign, one of the strangest yet most touching habits of all. Sign 3. Laying in your laundry. You come home, and before you can even drop your keys, you find your dog curled up on top of the pile of clothes you left behind. To us, it might look like a mess. To them, it's the closest thing to heaven. Your scent is stitched into every fiber, and when you're gone, that's the comfort they cling to. It's not just about softness, it's about survival of the heart. Dogs have an extraordinary sense of smell, tens of thousands of times sharper than ours. Research has shown they can even detect changes in human hormones like cortisol when stress levels rise. So when your sweater smells like you, it carries more than just detergent and fabric. It carries safety, identity, and love. By burying themselves in your clothes, Your dog is mixing their world with yours, making sure the bond doesn't fade, even in your absence. For widows and seniors living alone, this small act can be devastatingly moving. A dog nestled in a jacket, guarding it like treasure, feels less like a pet and more like a guardian angel refusing to let go. That's imprinting holding on to you even when you're not there. But laundry is only the start, because imprinting doesn't just live in scent, it bleeds into emotion. And the next sign reveals something uncanny, how your dog becomes a mirror, reflecting pieces of you you didn't even realize were showing. Sign 4. Mirroring your emotions. It's almost eerie when it happens. You're pacing the room restless, and suddenly you notice your dog's doing the same. Or maybe you're having one of those mornings where laughter comes easy, and there they are, tail wagging, body loose, soaking up your joy like sunlight. This isn't coincidence. This is imprinting in action. Scientists have actually measured it. A study from Linköping University in Sweden found that dogs' stress hormone cortisol sinks with their owner's levels over the long term. That means if you're anxious, your dog's body quite literally feels it. If you're calm, they relax too. They are emotional sponges tuned not just to your voice or your movements, but to the invisible signals your body sends out every single day. For someone fighting depression or loneliness, this mirroring can be both a comfort and a warning. Your dog is reminding you what you feel I carry with you. It's as though they've decided that your heart is their compass. That bond, that deep attunement, doesn't happen with just any human. It happens with the one they've chosen. And if you think that's powerful, wait until you see what happens when your dog tunes out. The rest of the world ignores every other voice and listens only to yours. Sign 5. Listening only to you. Every household has its noise, different voices, different routines, different rules. But have you noticed how your dog seems to filter all of that out, waiting for just one sound, yours? You give a command and suddenly their ears perk, their body straightens, and the world around them fades away. That's not just obedience, that's imprinting. Dogs are masters of social hierarchy. They learn who feeds them, who plays with them, and most importantly, who leads them. When your dog chooses to obey you above everyone else, it's proof that in their eyes, you're not just part of the pack, you are the pack leader, the anchor that holds their world together. Studies in canine behavior even show that consistent tone and routine strengthen this selective listening, weaving your voice into their memory like a survival signal. And here's the thing, this kind of devotion hits harder with age. Veterans with PTSD often describe their dogs as lifelines, the only ones who can cut through the fog of anxiety. Widows say their dog's response to their voice feels like proof that they still matter, still have someone who listens. For the dog, ignoring all other noise and waiting for you is its way of saying, you are the one I trust to guide me through the chaos. But what happens when that trust goes beyond listening and turns into something even more intense? When your dog isn't just tuned to your voice, but keeps checking on you over and over as if making sure you're still there. Sign 6. Checking in constantly. You're at the park, and while other dogs are chasing balls or sniffing the grass, yours keeps circling back, eyes fixed on you as if to say, are you still here? Am I safe? That quick glance, that pause mid-play, isn't random, it's a lifeline. It's your dog's way of checking that their entire world hasn't disappeared. Behaviorists call this attachment-based referencing. In the wild, canines depend on the pack's leader for cues about danger or safety. In your home, that leader is you. Every time your dog runs off and then rushes back, it's their heartbeat asking for reassurance. And when you smile, pat their head, or simply nod, you're answering that silent question. Yes, I'm here. You're safe. It goes deeper than routine. For someone battling illness or living alone, these check-ins can feel like a guardian angel's whisper. Each look is a reminder that you matter, that you're not invisible, that someone is watching over you. And over time, this behavior gets reinforced. Every treat, every scratch behind the ear, every gentle good boy teaches your dog that returning to you is always the right choice. But imprinting isn't only about where your dog looks. It's also about what they sense inside you, things you can't even hide. Because the next sign proves your dog knows when something's wrong, often before you say a word. Sign 7. Knowing when you're upset. You don't have to say a word. Maybe your shoulders slump. Maybe your voice cracks. Maybe it's just the silence in the room, but your dog knows. Before anyone else notices they are nudging your hand, curling against your side, or dropping a toy in your lap as if to say, I see you. I've got you. This isn't guesswork. Research has shown that dogs can read human facial expressions and even detect chemical changes when stress hormones like cortisol rise. They are wired to notice the tiny shifts in your body language, the tremor in your breath, the heaviness in your step. Thousands of years of domestication have turned them into emotional detectives tuned especially to the human heart. For someone facing depression, cancer, or grief, this connection can feel like salvation. When you're too tired to explain your pain, your dog doesn't need the words. They sense it, they sit with it, and sometimes they even pull you out of it. That quiet presence, that insistence on being near, is their way of absorbing your sorrow so you don't have to carry it alone. But sensing sadness is only half the story. Because there's a moment even more powerful when your dog doesn't just read your pain. They lock eyes with you, holding your gaze in a way that rewires the bond between you forever. Sign 8. Staring deep into your eyes. At first, it might feel strange. Your dog isn't asking for food, isn't waiting for a walk, isn't doing anything but holding your gaze. In the animal world, eye contact is often a challenge, even a threat. Yet here's your dog, breaking its own instincts, staring at you with a softness that feels almost human. That's not defiance, that's devotion. Science has uncovered something incredible here. A study published in the journal Science found that prolonged eye contact between dogs and their owners boosts oxytocin, the very same hormone that bonds a mother to her child. In that quiet exchange, your dog's brain and your brain are literally bathing in the chemistry of love. No words, no commands, just the silent electricity of connection. For seniors who live alone, that gaze can feel like a conversation with the soul. Veterans call it grounding, a way to stay anchored when the world spins too fast. Widows describe it as the closest thing to being truly seen after loss. It's not just your imagination. Your dog is telling you, with their eyes, you are my person, my world, my forever. And here's where it gets even more extraordinary. Because imprinting doesn't only speak through love, it speaks through protection. Watch closely, and you'll see the next sign in the way your dog positions itself between you and everything else, as if nothing will ever touch you while they're there. Sign 9. Protecting and guarding. You've seen it before. The doorbell rings, a stranger walks too close, or even a sudden noise cuts through the quiet, and instantly your dog steps forward, body tense, eyes locked, as if daring the world to try and harm you. This isn't just guarding territory. This is guarding you. In the wild, dogs rely on the pack to survive. Every member plays a role, but the one they imprint on is different. That's the one they'll stand in front of, teeth bared if necessary, even if it means putting themselves at risk. To your dog, your safety is survival, because in their mind, their life is tied to yours. For older adults living alone, this protective instinct can feel like having a silent bodyguard. Veterans often say they sleep easier, knowing their dog will wake at the faintest threat. Widows describe how a once quiet house now feels alive with a living sentinel standing watch. This isn't aggression, it's devotion wrapped in instinct, a shield built out of love. But protection isn't the final proof of imprinting. Because beyond the bark and the stance, there's a quieter truth that raises the biggest question of all. Can a dog, after imprinting so deeply, ever shift that bond to someone else? The answer may surprise you. Sign 10. Can dogs change their favorite person? It's the question that quietly haunts so many dog owners, especially those who live alone. If my dog has imprinted on me, could that bond ever shift to someone else? Could all those nights, all those glances, all those shared breaths suddenly belong to another? The truth is more complex than a simple yes or no. Dogs are adaptable, and life changes can influence who they spend the most time with. If someone new begins feeding them, walking them, or simply being present during long hours, the attachment can deepen in that direction. Routine matters, and dogs notice. But imprinting is not casual affection. It's a rare, almost sacred connection. Behavioral studies show that while dogs can form bonds with multiple humans, they reserve their deepest trust for the one who has consistently provided comfort, safety, and understanding. And once formed, that imprint doesn't easily break. For widows, veterans, or seniors who fear losing that loyalty, here's the reassurance: your dog chose you, and that choice isn't made lightly. Even if circumstances shift, someone else comes into the picture, or your life changes, the imprint leaves a permanent mark. You will always be the one. That bond is written into memory, into scent, into every heartbeat your dog ever matched to yours. But here's where the story takes its most emotional turn. Because imprinting isn't just about the time we share in life. It's about what remains when life changes, when loss arrives, and when love must stretch across the great divide. And that's where our closing thought brings us to the Rainbow Bridge, where bonds like this never truly end. Not every dog imprints. But if yours has, you've felt it, you've lived it. From the nights they pressed against your side, to the moments they mirrored your joy and carried your sorrow, every sign is a love letter written in silence. Science may call it oxytocin, cortisol, or attachment behavior, but you know better. You've looked into those eyes and seen something words can't touch: a bond, chosen, not forced. For seniors who live alone, for veterans who carry heavy memories, for widows who thought they'd lost their last anchor, your dog's imprint is proof you are not invisible, not forgotten. To them, you are home. You are safety. You are the one. And maybe one day, when you cross that final bridge, they'll be waiting, tail-wagging, eyes shining, ready to press their body against yours once more. Because imprinting doesn't end here. It stretches across worlds. If this touched your heart, don't leave just yet. Subscribe to our channel and join a community of dog lovers who know that what we share with our dogs is more than ownership, it's family. Share your story in the comments. How does your dog show you that you're their person? We read every single one, and your words may be the comfort someone else is searching for tonight.